Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back. We are gonna try and finish this roof up today. We've got just this little extra bit, and then we'll put these stairs in, and I think we'll be good from there. Oh my god, you're kidding me. Um, that's so annoying. Whatever, it's fine. Um, anyways, we're gonna finish this roof up today. We're gonna make it look pretty and such. Um, and hopefully we can get started on the inside of this then, because it'll look good, hopefully, by then. Um, anyways, I don't know. Just kind of hanging out today. I think we'll, we'll look when I'm done, but I think we might just do this one extra layer. Um, anyways, I don't know. I've been seeing a lot of like side hustle stuff on TikTok lately. Uh, I spend a lot of time on TikTok, entirely too much time. Um, and it is negatively impacting my life, but it's something that I do. Um, that's best here. Anyways, I'm seeing a bunch of that lately, and I'm so sick of it. Like, I don't know. I don't want a side hustle. I just wish we would stop. And I get it. Like, things are so expensive right now, and nobody's making enough to uh really live comfortably right now, it feels like. And I 100% get that. I do. Um, but I am just so sick of, here's the best side hustle, and I don't even know how to fully explain. Um, I just miss, having one thing and that's just your thing and you're passionate about it and you work your life away to achieve your passion. Um, because that's really what I want to do. I don't want to do a bunch of side hustles. That's why I'm sitting here doing this and I'm not, I don't post this on other stuff, which I'm not against. I really don't think that's as much of a side hustle as like some of these people on TikTok are saying. But I really just post here, because this is what I want to do YouTube. I don't want to do, um, clip farming for TikTok and uh, Instagram Reels. I just don't have any interest. I don't want to live stream uh, and clip farm, and I don't have any hatred or, I don't feel any ill will towards people that do that. Um, because I do watch. I mean, I watch a lot of the clips and stuff, and I do think they're very funny. Um, it's just not for me. It's not what I want this to be. Um, it's just not who I want to be, and it's not what I think I'm quote unquote good at. Um, and I'm not against doing any stuff like that. Like um, I'm totally down to start live streaming at some point. Um, but it's just not what I want this to be. I just don't want this to be that. Um, and so I don't know. I also just have a, I just have a hard time with conveying my thoughts quickly, I guess. I'm very much better at this than, um, TikTok and stuff like that. I need that kind of longer video to really explain what I mean and kind of my thoughts on stuff. Um, I'm just very bad at explaining succinctly. Um, and that's something I've been like my whole life. Um, that's not gonna go away at any point, I don't think. That's just kind of who I am. Um, and I don't mind that. I don't think there's anything wrong with, needing more time to explain your thoughts. I think we're all kind of losing our attention spans, and it's causing us to really lose our connection with people, I guess, because stairs, that's awkward. Let me grab a crafting table from down here real quick. Um, um, Anyways, I think we're all just kind of losing our attention spans really badly, and I think it's really starting to impact us, and I think a lot of that, not a lot, but there's a lot of it that is um, exactly how I feel, but um, I think we're losing a lot of connection with people because we just don't have the attention span to let them get to the crux of their position. I think a lot of what we're doing is if you can't get my attention in, 30 seconds, then I'm not interested in anything you have to say, and I just hate that. Um, because that's a pretty unique thing in our history, at least I feel like. Um, I think attention span is already a strange enough. Um, it's strange enough as is the attention span. Um, the importance of it, I guess, at our time. I don't think having a shorter attention span necessarily, I don't think it's anything. But we are seeing, a serious decline in the average span. I mean, that's not really up for debate. Oh shoot, I didn't even know they could spawn up here. I guess it makes sense, but still, that was kind of a surprise. Um, Anyways, I just think we're. I don't know if we. I think my generation, Gen Z. I think we are starting to realize, this short attention span that we've developed is really not good. Um, and a lot of us are doing things to combat that now. Not everybody, but I know a lot of my friends are, um, getting into reading again and getting into hobbies that take a lot of time and critical thinking and not something you can just, um, scroll TikTok for hours. Because I remember, you know, 2019, 2020, when it had just come out. Um, and we it just wasn't the same, it wasn't uh so much of a problem, I guess. I don't even know entirely how to communicate my position on it. But we used to back then it was such a different situation. The doom scrolling was a thing, but it wasn't as bad as it is now, I guess. I don't the kind of oh I mean it was over COVID really that this kind of explosion of screen time and scrolling um, really happened. It was kind of there before, but we all had other things we were doing too, so it's not like um, it's not like, this has been my whole life. I've been on screens a lot for most of my life, but never so detrimentally to my health as since COVID started. Um, and that's just kind of weird to think, um, let's make some slabbies. There we go. That's probably too many. Oh well, whatever. Um, anyways, it's just, I think my generation's starting to realize that technology is not our friend as much as we thought it was. Um, and I think we're starting to kind of renegotiate our relationship with technology because I think we're all getting to the point where we are spending more time frustrated by it than we are benefiting from our relationship with technology. Um, it's come through as my generation being uh, very anti-AI, I guess. That's part of it. Um, Also, if you guys have not noticed, I am feeling a lot better today. I don't know what happened yesterday, but I'm feeling totally fine today. So I guess we're good. Um, anyways, I think my generation is becoming very anti-technology, which I'm very grateful for, I think. Um, we'll see how it plays out. I don't know. Uh, but at this point in time, I really do think the world is going to be very different when Gen Z is really at the top. We're kind of starting to see Gen X really take over. Boomers are still taking over, which is insane. They're too old to be hoarding all the wealth at this point. I mean, I just think it's ridiculous to have all of the money there and nowhere else. Um, it's the first time in history that's ever happened with the oldest generation having all of the money. Um, and feel that feel that about. Let me try that again in English. How about that? We're gonna try again in English. Feel about that however you like. Um, it is just strange that there is so much inequality right now, um, specifically with wealth, assets, things like that. Um, and I think a lot of the anti-technology sentiment from um, my generation is coming because of that. I think, the people with the wealth have established this world where we need technology for anything. I need my phone to communicate. My phone does all this crap that I don't really care that it does, and it costs too much money, and so on and so forth. A lot of slabs. Oh. And I need this TV to watch anything, and it has to be connected to the internet, and I hate it. It costs too much money, so on and so forth. And I think that's really a lot of the sentiment because we don't have a lot of money. I make great money for my age, um, and I don't make very much. I think it's insane. The first time I started working in the corporate world, uh, and I was thinking, this can't be it. Um, in terms of the salary, I would think, there's just no way this is all of the money. And I'd see my coworkers, and they're supporting families on this money, and um, I don't have any hate for that. I don't think, I think not every job needs to be $100,000 a year. Um, but I don't think people should be struggling. The people who make a lot of money shouldn't be struggling too. And I think that's kind of the thing because I remember looking up early, um, and kind of, seeing where my salary fit in the scale for my age group, and it's not, I'm not top 1% or anything crazy. I'm not. Um, but I make good money, and it's pretty insane that for how much I make, I don't really feel like I have most of it. Um, that's just crazy. Oh, there's creatures in my house. Out of my house. Um, and so I think that kind of the anti-technology sentiment I really do believe comes from uh, that kind of disparity of wealth and income, because for the older generations, it's whatever. Why is there so many creatures in here? I thought it was pretty lit up, but I guess not. Um, do this real quick. I don't know. Anyways, I'm kind of ranting, but I do just think it's weird that um, we're the first generation that grew up with technology at our fingertips, truly at our disposal, and we are all so anti-technology. Um, I should use slabs for this. I think that'll be easier. There we go. I'll make it look better. But just gonna have to trust the vision here. Um, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nice. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Anyways, I just think it's very interesting that the first generation that really grew up with technology at our fingertips absolutely despises it on average. I think we all kind of acknowledge it as a necessary evil. And I especially think it's, telling that the people that work with technology the most, the software engineers, their main goal in life, and not just software engineers, I shouldn't generalize, but a lot of the tech field, most of the people that aren't the executives and the higher ups, they don't really actually work with technology. They're mainly uh, executive skills. Most of them, the goal when all this is done is to never touch technology again. And I think, that's why so many people in the industry are so big into rock climbing and hiking. And, um, I'm the same way, so I get it. But I think a lot of it is because I think technology is, I mean, it just feels evil. It's not, I know it's not evil. It's just a tool, but it just feels evil. It's used so predatorily, I guess, um, that I don't want anything to do with it. I need to make some fences. Guess I shouldn't have turned all of those into slabs yet. Whatever, it's fine. Let's get some fences. 24. Um, anyways, oops. technology is used so predatorily now, that I truly, it's gone from this thing that I thought was cool. It was like it was my thing, um, when I was a kid. I mean, that was the kind of feeling of technology is, this is the one thing I have that my parents don't. Um, yeah, this one. Okay. Um, and so it was like it was a special thing. And my parents are rather tech savvy. In truth, um, my dad has had a computer in the home a lot longer than most people, but he's never been, the greatest user of technology. He's very, for his age group. My dad's 53, 52 now, 53, 2, I believe. It's awkward that I don't know off the top of my head, but he's one of the two. And um, it's just the insane difference in technical knowledge between the two of us is it's crazy. And I mean, part of that is I am working in the tech field, so I do have a more working knowledge of technology than him. But at the same time, he's been doing this longer than I've been alive. He's had a computer, and it's just weird to think about. Like I don't know how to, um, I don't know how to process that. Uh, take this. That's what we'll do. Take this. Oops. I did something wrong. That's what I did. So let me do that. There we go. Now it's even. And now I can drop these fence posts in. Ow. It's fine. Um, anyways, it's just weird the difference. And now, my dad thinks all this technology is the coolest thing ever. And I absolutely despise it, and I don't really want anything to do with it. Um, and I do understand the hypocrisy of that statement because I am sitting here playing uh, games right now. But I think it's a lot difference between the bleeding edge technology that I work with versus my home computer, which I am slowly getting more and more off the internet. Um, it's always a work in progress because it's feels almost impossible to get off the internet fully. But um, I'm getting a lot of my hobbies now. I'm getting them offline, and that's helping a lot because I just hate being online all the time. Um, oops. Um, actually, there we go. I'll do that on the other side as well. Um, and yeah, anyways, I don't know. It's just weird the technical inequality in things. We're missing. It just needs well, something on it. I do want to make this bigger. Just the front door. We'll put a door here and some things so it looks pretty. And I think we need to. I'm thinking that it'll look really good with these shelves. Spruce shelf, I think, is what it would look really good all the way across. But I'm gonna have to get a bunch of stripped wood, so that's gonna take a minute. So let's get started on that, and we can come back for the rest of this. I need to make another axe, and I need to enchant it, actually, so I'll put this away so I don't enchant that on accident. Other flowers, okay. I also need to get some leather. I figured out that leather armor is how you don't fall in powdered snow. And if I'm gonna stay here in the snow, I need to get some leather armor. So that's what we'll do. We are gonna do that at some point, and I need to get a bunch of stripped wood. Uh, so we'll do that. That's gonna be the plan for the rest of this. There, I guess it's been 25 minutes already. So instead, we will prepare for that, and then the next episode we will gather a bunch of stripped logs, and then we can put the house together. Or I might do the gathering before, and then we can put it together on. We can put it together on episode, and I'll just get all the resources before, so that we don't have to spend all that time preparing. But I think like this, I think would look really good on this stuff. Yeah, I think that'll look good. So we'll do that. Oh, I have 16 in here, nice. Let's grab these as well, because I'm over here. Grab some diamond. More spruce. Right, that's everything. Let's make a pickaxe real quick. Or axe, sorry. Let's see what enchant we get. I don't have any lapis, hold on. Fortune would be nice, but I'm so... I'll get some levels off episode, and then we will take care of that. I think I'll probably just end it here though, unless I can actually get these levels real quick. And I will actually write down what I was talking about in this episode. And we can continue it because I don't think I really got to a stopping. Okay, I've got all the levels I need. I don't really think I got to a stopping point, so we'll continue the discussion in the next episode. And I'll get some stuff done in the meantime. Sweet. I do have an anvil, okay. Nice, fortune's done, but I don't need it for anything like this. So that's fine. Anyways, thanks for watching, I do appreciate it. If you guys are wanting to see more stuff like this, please subscribe and like. It helps me know what's good. And I really just do appreciate it. I like to build a little community here and we can talk about stuff. Especially if you guys have any topics you'd like me to discuss. I'm pretty open to discuss anything. I don't really have any things I won't at least discuss. I might not know all the ins and outs, so I'm not going to pretend like it's going to be great. But I'm willing to, you know, explain my thoughts on things. But anyways, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. If you guys want to give it a like, I would appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.